Bronq Luigi. The Bronq's been with us for a good few years now, and in that time it's been through quite a few changes. It's a child of an engineering battle between its ultralight flexible core and the carbon skin that surrounds it. When you pick up a bare deck like this, the first thing you'll notice is the weight. It's unnaturally light, but that's only a fraction of the story that makes this board so special. The most plush feeling board in the range now, and like a traditional construction that has this much flex, the Bronq soaks up everything thrown at it, but instead of wasting this energy, it returns much more than a normal board can, and that brings much more efficiency and a lot more feedback to your feet. It's a more involving board to ride. Soft boards have always been champions of comfort. They'll cut out all the noise of a session, reduce fatigue as they don't tend to overload your back leg. They'll add to critical load situations where stiffer boards would skip and crash. But they do lack feel and drive at lower power levels. But the Bronq technology, it's changed all of that. If you've glanced at the price list, you'll know that this is one of the most expensive twin tips in the industry. The reason is the construction. Now, you'd be no fool for pointing out that the material cost of a carbon wrap, top and bottom, is minor. In fact, the true cost of this board is found in the core. And this is where we get a bit techie, but bear with me, as to understand the Bronq, you really need to understand why it's so different to a regular twin. Traditional premium cores are made from a wood called Paulovnia. It's the second lightest wood next to balsa. Now, the Bronq is a hybrid balsa Paulovnia core. Aside the cost of hybridizing these two, the real cost is the cutting of it. All TT cores are milled by CNC before they go in the press. CNCs, certainly good ones, are very expensive bits of kit, yet balsa and CNCs don't like each other. At traditional milling speeds, balsa just shreds, so the CNCs have to be slowed down so much that the construction costs for each one of these boards goes through the roof. And that is the reason why they feel like they feel, and they cost what they cost. Carbon in kiteboards is pretty, but not always good. To make it strong enough, it just shakes you to bits and blows out your rail long before it should. Make it flexible enough and it snaps. It's taken a lot of R&D to get the Bronq so flexible, yet so light, and most importantly durable. The ratio between these three has moved one way or the other for the last few years, but it's definitely hit the sweet spot. And let's be clear, the primary use of carbon in this board is to return the flex to baseline faster, returning more energy and making a super plush board feel powerful and connected. The low weight is a byproduct of this. It's not the primary aim of using carbon. On the water then, this translates to an incredibly light but powerful and supple feel. It's naturally very playful, and that means you can really use that weight to good advantage. Switching stands, throwing it around, it's a very unique feel. The deck has a supreme command over its cruising speed. Even with a lot of power, you can crab it as a crawl with complete ease. Its top-end control, well, that is only eclipsed by the new ADHD behind me. The range of this board is truly stunning. It also has that classic constant curve rocker that Shinn decks are famed for. We first saw it in the original Monk. It's that beautiful feel where you can shift your weight around without upsetting the balance of the board at all. It's also very good at evening out the load through your legs, no matter where you lean or how much power you're using, which means you can ride for hours without fatiguing. It's one of those very rare boards that can be the easiest of decks to cruise around on, regardless of water state. Yet when you free it off and build power and speed, it's got the kind of control and bite that few other boards can match. It really is a cracking piece of kit. I've not had a bad session on it to memory. For those of you that love the old Monk, it's just as easy, smooth and plush, but it's miles ahead in feel and fun, performance. I've used this deck a lot, every test session, and it really is a benchmark for me. This deck and its two previous incarnations, the CRB4 and the Backspacer, are, in my eyes, state-of-the-art examples of just how good twin tips have become, and I highly recommend them.